Hi, everyone. This is Kim, your instructor. I just wanted to give you a quick tutorial. I got a question about calculating the percentages of the macronutrients from the homework. It'll also show up on the quiz, as you have seen. But this is kind of like the fundamentals of nutrition. Not only that, but it's the fundamentals of not just this class, but as you go out to the grocery store and you're trying to figure out what percentage of your diet is made up of these specific nutrients. Though the labels on, if you go buy cereal, for example, tell you the percent of the daily value of your diet, that doesn't tell you necessarily the percent of that package. So it's a little misleading. So if you were to go eat something just crazy fatty, like I don't even know off the top of a stick of butter because you just love butter. So you're eating a stick of butter and it tells you on there, it's got 10 grams of fat and it says out of your whole diet, that's just, this little piece of the amount of the fat that you should have. What it's really neglecting to say is that of the whole product of that stick of butter, it's really like more than half fat. So it's a little misleading because you think, oh, well, it's only this percentage of my whole diet, what it should be, what a daily value should be, not necessarily what you actually eat. And not even, from this product, how much of this product is really fat. So it's really important to know how to be able to do these calculations for yourself. And then if you go on into the field of nutrition, or if you go into nursing and you want to help counsel your patients, also on nutrition, because for many, food is medicine. It is the way that you can treat many of the conditions that you're going to come across as a nurse or a medical assistant, or just a human being or parent. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at the question. So hopefully this is the one that most of you have sent me questions about. This is the question about John and his oatmeal cookie. So John is eating a cookie and we know a few facts right off the top from this question. So what we know is that the cookie provides 67 remember, calories is what we would normally say, but when we look at the actual science of nutrition and food, the unit is kilocalories. So it's abbreviated KCAL. So that's where that comes from. So it awards him 67 kilocalories total for his cookie. That's one fact that we know. We also know that there's a total of 3 grams of fat in that cookie. There's 9 grams of carbohydrates, and there's 1 gram of protein. I wish most cookies were only 67 calories, but that's actually not the case. Maybe it's a really small cookie. I don't know. So the other things that we know that aren't in this question, which is what this assumes that you do know or can look up, is that carbohydrates, each gram of carbohydrate supplies you with 4 kilocalories per gram. We also know that protein supplies you with 4 kilocalories per gram. And then we also know that fat provides you with 9 kilocalories per gram. So using those numbers and the fact that we were given the nutrition information in this cookie, we can do really the first step of this problem. And the first step of this problem is I'm going to now share a whiteboard. So the first step of this problem is to say, okay, we know that carbs are 4 calories per gram. This is terrible. I have a touch screen. Forgive me. We know that protein is 4 calories per gram. And we know that fat is 9 calories per gram. The other things that we know that his cookie had 9 grams of carbohydrates. So essentially we just do 9 times 4, and we figure out that in his cookie there are 36 kilocalories worth of carbohydrates. Then we know that there are 1 gram of protein, and we know that each gram has 4 calories. So we do 1 times 4, and we know that that 1 gram of protein from his oatmeal cookie will give us a total of 4 calories. The final thing that we know is that each gram of fat has 9 calories in it, and we know that there are 3 grams of fat in his cookie times 9 equals 27. And so when we total that up, we voila, get our magic number of 67 kilocalories. So that's step 1. We figured out how many grams and calories of each one of these macronutrients is in his cookie. So then the next step, which I think is the part that's being the trickiest, is to figure out how many, based on a percentage, each one of these nutrients provides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this board, clear all drawings. And then the next thing that we're going to move on to is, now we know, I'm going to rewrite it. So we've got carbs, we've got 36 calories, protein, we've got 4, and then fat, we have 27. So those are the pieces we know. We know that the total of the calories is 67. So then we move on to step 2. Step 2 is just like you would do any other percentage. The easiest way is always the part over whole times 100. So this is always going to be the whole. 67 is the total amount, the whole amount. And then each one of these, 36, 4, and 27, are our partial amounts. So what that works out to is, we would go to figure out what the percentage of the cookie is carbohydrates. We would say it's 36 divided by 67 times 100. To figure out protein, that's totally a T. We would find it's 4 divided by 67 times 100. And then the final piece is fat. It would be 27 divided by 67 times 100. And without using a calculator, I would have to cheat, but we figure out that, let me share my screen. Boom, we figure out carbohydrates are approximately 54%, that fat is 40%, and that protein, as you see here, is 6%. And that's of the total amount of calories for that one cookie. So hopefully this helps to shed some light. Please let me know if you still have questions, and I'm happy to work with you to figure this out, and anything else that you have questions on. So bye.